Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money.
Welcome to the best betting on pro wrestling podcast, Going Over Bet Pro Wrestling. My name is Vintown. This is the Scotsman. Scotsman, how you doing?
I'm doing good, mate. Just finished watching this week's NXT show, actually, in preparation for Takeover. Pretty hyped for this Portland show right now.
Okay, did you watch Dynamite as well?
Oh, I did. You know what, mate? That show was so good that as soon as it was over, I got up off my couch, hopped on the computer, went straight to bluechew.com and cancelled my subscription. If I need an aphrodisiac in the future, I'll just rewatch that episode of AEW Dynamite. What an episode.
that was a good one. Getting excited for Revolution. We'll have those tips coming up soon. But for now, let's look at what we did at our first episode, which was the Royal Rumble. Who did better here?
I think I did better by a lot.
Yeah, you had a 3-1 record. Basically, your whole deal was Charlotte Flair.
Yeah.
Charlotte Flair was plus 500, and you bet.
Yeah, I bet 2 units on Charlotte Flair, and she's someone just like I said at the podcast, I bet her against Asuka at WrestleMania a couple of years ago. She's just like The Miz, where WWE love her, and she's the one that you always bet on, you can always trust, you know? So that was a nice, easy one. I did hear that they actually changed plans mid-January, but hey, I was right and the sportsbooks were wrong.
The rumor is that they changed the plans. The same thing happened with the men's Royal Rumble, which we both took Roman Reigns, and that didn't happen either.
No, my fellow countryman won that one. He did it for Scotland.
Yeah, I noticed you didn't bet on him, though.
No, I didn't trust him at all. I've seen what WWE did to Drew McIntyre over the years, so yeah, that was an easy no bet for me, even though he did win, but you know.
I had the good luck of two of my winner picks did not even appear in the match, so luckily those got washed away. Sasha Banks not appearing and John Cena not appearing.
Nope, saving John Cena for WrestleMania, I guess. That's the rumor.
We both took Brock Lesnar for most eliminations. At what point did you know that this was going to win? Like after this number 3 entry?
Pretty much, yeah. Like you saw how it was going right away, you know, and it was like the crowd were reacting to it too, and it was like, yeah, this is happening. He's taken out. You know, I actually thought he was going to go longer. I was surprised he got eliminated as fast as he did, because that was something that could have been on longer, you know. People were eating it up, but nice, easy win. It was, you know, a very relaxing one, that's for sure.
Yeah, they played it perfectly. Like, people were starting to get really mad, and then he eliminated like 10 more people.
Yeah, that was
and
awesome.
Then, yeah, it was a good time.
Mm-hmm.
So, since you won, we're going to go to our Takeover Portland tips that are brought to you by BetWWE.com.
BetWWE.com. I told you to bet Charlotte, and if you bet Charlotte, you would have won. That's where you go to get winning betting tips.
Okay, so let's get into NXT Takeover Portland, a rare Sunday takeover, and it's not connected to a main roster pay-per-view. Is there anything particular you're excited to see here?
100% the main event. I mean, that's the one, you know, Cole, either of those guys can win. Like, I've went back and forth on that one because I really want to have a betting pick on it. And right now, I still haven't decided yet, you know. Like, I'll decide by the time we get there, but that's it, you know. And the card as a whole is going to be awesome, you know. I love me some Keith Lee, and Riddle and Dunn are brilliant. So this whole card pretty much should be pretty damn good, even though a few of the matches are kind of, you know who's winning easily, but still good matches. So
yeah, I'm really excited for the Broserweights, Riddle and Dunn taking on the Undisputed Era. The opening tag team match on a takeover is always off the charts and sets the tone, so really looking forward to that.
Yeah, that should be a classic.
But let's get to the odds. We'll start off, it's going to be a street fight. Dakota Kai is a minus 250 favorite, taking on Tegan Knox. Kai turned against Knox back at NXT Takeover War Games, and this is the revenge match.
It's definitely an interesting one, and I think the big question in regards to who win is whether this is a blow-off or not. Dakota is the favorite, and if it's a blow-off, I mean, I would lean Dakota winning. I think her odds are good. For For me, the interesting one's the star rating, though. That one's the over-under for Dave Meltzer's star rating you can bet on for that one is 2.5. And that one, I think, is going to go over 2.5. What do you think of that match?
Yeah, that star rating is ridiculously low. I mean, I know that Dave Meltzer and women's matches aren't always the best ratings around, which we'll leave that where it is. But I think that match could be excellent.
Well, Dave just rated the Roman Reigns King Corbin match 3.25 stars, and that was a Falls Count Anywhere match, but same deal, and that match was absolute garbage. So if that one gets 3.25, this one should get at least that, if not more. So that's going to be my first bet, even though it's minus 200 odds. I'm going to do 2 units on that one going over 2.5 stars.
I would probably be right there with you on that bet. I like Tegan Knox. I think there's a good chance she could win, but I just don't feel it. But the star rating, over 2.5 stars. I would be really shocked if any match on this whole show is that low. Unless we're getting like a 2-minute fight, this is going to be a good one.
Yeah, it's NXT. Everything's minimum 3 stars.
So the next match we'll go to is going to be the North American Championship match. The champion, Keith Lee, is a huge favorite at minus 910, taking on Dominik Dijakovic at plus 450. Before I get to your pick, what are the odds that Dominik Dijakovic keeps his name on the main roster?
Absolutely zero. Less than zero. My gosh, I'm surprised he's not changed it already.
Right. I think it's just going to be Dominic, like Buddy Murphy is now Murphy. So.
Yes, that's great.
But anyway, who do you like in this one, or is there any bets you see worth it in this one?
I do see a bet in this match. I like this match for one bet. Obviously not Keith Lee. He's too heavy a favourite. He's going to win. He's the best thing about NXT right now, and he's one of the only reasons I tune in on a regular basis. Keith Lee's taking this one. The star rating, though, that's where I really like it. It's set at 4.25, and I believe it's going over that. Dave would cream his pants over these two back in PWG, and we're seeing them square off finally here on NXT. This one is going to be probably 5 stars. 10 if it was in the Tokyo Dome, as a friend Bruce would say. But yeah, this one's going over big time. This one's 5 stars. Dave's going to maybe even break out 6 stars for this one.
Well, I know you're a long-time Wrestling Observer subscriber, so maybe you got some sway you can help us out here. Only way I can see Dijakovic winning this one is if Keith Lee is getting the call-up, which it's too close to WrestleMania for that to happen. So I'm probably sitting this one out.
You're not going to bet the star rating? I'll do 2 units on over 4.25. What do you think? What do you think? Even if you don't bet on it, what do you think the star rating?
I mean, that's right in the area where I would expect it. The only thing is, where is this match going to be on the card?
That's true.
What kind of time is it going to get? All those things. There's a lot of big matches on this card, and 4.25 is a really good rating. I would almost bet exactly, but that's kind of a sucker's bet.
Yeah, unless you get good odds for that. See, for me, it's like, look at Dave's rating sometimes for, like, the Young Bucks. He goes over the top quite a few times, like that match against the Rhodes Brothers. And he, like I said, back in PWG, he was all over these two. The fact that they're in there, yeah, this one, he's going to be going high on this one.
Yeah, in September of 2017, these two wrestled in PWG, and Dave Meltzer did go the full 5 stars on that match. The only thing that I would say is that he was probably there live, and live seems to always add a little extra to his star ratings, whether he would ever admit that or not.
Yeah, it does, obviously, but I think he would, even not just the star rating, but when he would talk about them in PWG, he was always praising them, and he would rate a lot of Keith Lee matches higher there, and a lot of Dominic matches, so yeah, I still think, live or not, he'll go over. And saying that, maybe we should buy him a plane ticket so he can go to NXT Live and win me the bet.
There we go.
Or he can sneak on with Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne on Triple H's plane.
Okay, let's move on here. We spent way too much time talking about Dave Meltzer's feelings there. Next match will go to Finn Balor, minus 278 as a favorite against Johnny Gargano. Just short of 2-1 at plus 190. What do you got for this one?
It's an interesting one. Finn is the right favourite, and it's one of those matches where you have to look beyond this match and you have to look at where they're gonna go following this. And based on like everything I've looked at, I think Finn's got to take the win here. Johnny's also someone that can handle a loss. That guy, losses never hurt him at all. So I think he's taking the loss, and Finn's going on to WrestleMania. Or the Takeover WrestleMania.
Yeah, I gotta agree. The whole point of Johnny Gargano is to lose, to look good and coming back from a loss. This is their first time matching up, and Finn Balor is all about the wins. So I agree. I think that Finn Balor is going to win this. I don't see this as worth a bet. Star rating over 4.5. That's 4.5 is like a really good match.
Well, I did research on that one before we came on, and Finn Balor, Dave has actually never rated a single match featuring Finn at 4.5 stars or above. He's never hit that one. Johnny, of course, has had multiple matches go above it. So the question there is, will Johnny be able to carry Finn to a higher rating than that? Or will Finn drag it down based on Dave's ratings, you know? It's a tough one.
Yeah, so not a lot there.
Yeah, I don't think it's worth betting. That's one. I would think maybe it'll go under, but that one's minus 150 and it's not worth betting it.
Actually, I did just think of a scenario that maybe Johnny Gargano might be worth a bet.
What's that?
The main event of this night, Tommaso Ciampa versus Adam Cole. Who are the two guys who never really got that last title match? Supposed to be the main event of last year's WrestleMania weekend takeover, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. Of course, their relationship has changed since then, but it wouldn't be hard to put them back in that position.
I had considered that. My thing is, though, like you said, the relationships just change, you know what I mean? And it's like, to build to that match again, I don't think so. I think it's definitely, both those guys are probably going to be with NXT for a while. I don't see them moving up to the main roster. So it's like, I think they can do that a bit down the road. But right now, I think Johnny's able to take a loss, and him and Ciampa can be buddies for a wee bit longer, you know?
For sure. Okay. We also have Rhea Ripley taking on Bianca Belair in the NXT Not Women's Championship match. Rhea Ripley is a huge favorite at minus 2,000. Of course, that means you'd have to bet $2,000 to win $100.
Sounds like a deal.
Yeah, and Bianca Belair is a plus 700 underdog.
You'd have more chance buying WWE stock. You'd have more chance of making money that way, basically.
The odds here are pretty clear. Rhea Ripley is rumored to face Charlotte Flair. Well, not rumored. It's pretty obvious that it's happening. To face Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. Right? And Charlotte Flair's person she's wrestled is not going to lose between now and WrestleMania.
No.
So the star rating here is 3.25.
It's something I'm really curious. I'm wondering how they'll book this match, because with Rhea going up against Charlotte, you would think they would book her strong, you know, and they would have her just come out and kick Bianca's ass and just boom, that's it. I'm coming for you, Charlotte. But it's NXT, where it's, you know, close pinfalls, you know, near pinfalls are the name of the game, so it could go that way. I'm actually going to wager 1 unit on the under 3.25, just because booking wise, Rhea should look strong. She should crush Belair and be up for Charlotte.
I'm going to be right there with you on that bet. The thing is, I think the star ratings between this and Dakota Kai versus Tegan Nox are flipped. You know, this is going to be the match that's likely shorter. This is going to be the match that has a more dominant win and less of the back and forth that you come to know from NXT. This is going to be Rhea Ripley looking strong, getting ready for her WrestleMania debut.
Yeah, it makes 100% sense. It would be silly to do anything other than that.
I'm also going to take that as well for 1 unit. How about this? The Broserweights, Pete Dunne and Matt Riddle, minus 200. Taking on the Undisputed Era team of Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly at plus 140 for the NXT Tag Team Championships.
I must admit, I was quite surprised when I saw Undisputed Era with the underdogs here, you know. I'm enjoying the Broserweights a lot. Riddle and Dunne are fantastic together. Like that segment last night in NXT with Get On Hunters playing, amazing. They've got excellent chemistry together. But I assume they're eventually going to like split them up and feud them. I don't know if they're going to stay together now because they're so good together. But this just seems like a spot where a team like this just comes up short though. And so even though the Undisputed Era, you've got to think they're going to be all breaking up soon and going their separate ways or going up to the main roster. I would take the Undisputed Era to retain because it's one of those matches you can do over again at WrestleMania, the Takeover WrestleMania, which is always the biggest one of the year. So I would do 1 unit on the underdogs here.
I'm right there with you. I'm going to go 3 units on the Undisputed Era.
Ooh.
This is just kind of like Undisputed Era fatigue. People are so used to these guys being champions and so used to this, so used to them always being favored, and they're ready for a change, but I don't think a change is coming, not at NXT Portland.
No, yeah, I don't see either. I think the sportsbooks have it wrong on that one.
Okay, anything on the star rating? I set it 4.5. It's going to be, if I had to bet, it would be the opener of the Takeover. And takeovers throughout history have had a red-hot opener.
Yeah, that's a good point. I would lean the under, but I wouldn't take it. Dave likes Riddle and Dunn as a team. He gave them 4.25 stars against Drake and Gibson, 4.5 against Flash and Andrews. So that's a good indicator that he likes the way they work together. Throw in Fish and O'Reilly in there, and yeah, this is a potential to be a killer match. I would not touch that star rating.
Right, a 4.5 star match is a killer rating. It's the highest rating that Dave Meltzers given to any match all year long. Going over that seems insane to me.
Yeah, it's not worth it's too risky a bet, especially when one botched move brings the star rating down. So it's not worth betting that one.
Okay, and finally we have the main event for the NXT Championship. Adam Cole taking on Tommaso Ciampa. This is a rare deal. The sportsbooks don't know who's going to win. Both of these wrestlers are minus 118 to win.
It makes sense. Like when I could sit here right now and give you 10 reasons why Cole should win, and I could sit here and give you 10 reasons why Ciampa should win. It's so conflicting. It's so tough to decide. Tommaso
Ciampa was the man in NXT, and then he got hurt, and then he came back, and this is his first real shot at the title since that injury.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where extending it to WrestleMania Takeover makes sense on paper, right? Give him the win then. But he's so hot right now. He's so awesome right now. He's clicking right now that it's like you just want to give him the title right now. You don't want to push it off, but you don't want to have some kind of bad finish where Cole goes over because it could really hurt him. So I think they have to give it to Ciampa. I think they have to do a title change here. It also makes this takeover feel more important, and it also gets people wanting to tune into NXT on Wednesday night, which is obviously a goal for them. So yeah, I think we have a new champion in Portland.
The only thing that's holding me up here is that Adam Cole has held this title for 9 months, and he's done a great job with it. And are they really going to blow that off here against Tommaso Ciampa? I mean, I guess they could.
I think it's the right time. It's more the opponent than anything else. You look at Ciampa, you look at everything he's doing. If he loses here, no matter how they do it, interference, all that crap, whatever, DQ count out, not that I would see them doing that, but you never know. But there's no way they can do it, I think, without cutting the legs off Ciampa. The money's not in the rematch here. The money's in getting that belt on Ciampa. And, in my opinion, moving on to WrestleMania, where he fights Finn Balor, who is more recognizable to the casual WWE fan, and going over there to give him a big win there as well, which is the reason I think Finn Balor beats Johnny Gargano, because I think they do Balor Ciampa at WrestleMania Takeover. So I'm going to actually go 2 units on Ciampa to win this match.
Big move for such a close odds. I just feel like being a contrarian. Adam Cole, there's so much more he can do here. Like you mentioned, he could break up with his partners in Undisputed Era. Keith Lee has his number. That would be a great WrestleMania Takeover main event. And people love Adam Cole. He is a star. He's the biggest star in NXT, in my opinion. Even bigger than Finn Balor.
I mean, most people know him as Britt Baker's boyfriend, so that's the only reason he's famous.
Can't argue with you there. I'm going to take Adam Cole I'm just going to go 1 unit. I was a little too brazen last month. I'm going to take it easy. 1 unit on Adam Cole to retain his title heading into WrestleMania.
The star rating is 4.5. I could see it going over that, but I couldn't put my money on it,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it is going to get a lot of time, but as we've seen in NXT over the past few months even, like, that has not been a good thing in many of these matches.
And it feels like some of the matches could be higher, but it's just the way things go where NXT matches now just aren't as stand out because we've got a regular NXT television show with great matches, and then we've got a regular AEW Dynamite with great matches. So it kind of brings these takeover shows down a little bit, because now there's more stuff to compare it to, basically.
There's a couple props here I want to get into before we finish up. This one prop I thought was kind of hilarious. Will the show have 2 or more matches to be awarded the highest 2020 rating?
Yeah, that is a funny one. Yes is plus 175. No is minus 250. I couldn't even imagine betting that at plus 175.
I think it means to date, and the highest rated match that Dave has rated to date is 4.5 stars. So you're basically betting that there'd be 2 matches, 4.75 or higher.
Well, that's a crazy one. That's 2 matches. I mean, there's 3 matches on the card that they expect to be really good. The tag match, Finn Balor and Adam Cole. All 3 individually look good, but collectively, 2 going over 4.5 stars. No, I can't see it. I don't think I could bet on it, though, because you never know. Like, Dave might get really into it and start just handing out star ratings like candy, but I couldn't bet either of those.
Right. If the odds would need to be much higher. Much higher.
Yeah.
As for the highest star rating on the show, over 4.75 is plus 200. Exactly 4.75 is plus 150, and under 4.75 is minus 150.
The over is not something we could bet there, I think. That would be crazy. But exactly or under, I think both are kind of bettable. I'm not sure I can do a bet on it myself, but it is tempting. Exactly 4.75 is plus 150 odds. That's not too bad at all. I won't bet it, but it might be worth, if someone wants to do some gambling, that's a good little gamble out there.
Finally, we have the highest rated match on the card. Finn Balor versus Johnny Gargano is a favorite at plus 150. The NXT Championship match with Cole and Ciampa is plus 234. The Tag Team Championship match is plus 250. Keith Lee and Dijakovic is
you
plus
can just call
400.
him Dominic. That's what I've been doing the whole show.
And then Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair is plus 800.
Well, for me, I said it before. NXT North American Championship. Keith Lee versus Dominic. Dave loves him. Plus 400 odds. Why not? I mean, it definitely is going up against some tough competition, though. So I don't know if I would bet it, but that's the one I would see being the better. If you're looking for a good value play, plus 400 odds on that one's really good. But it could tie. That's the thing. It could be a push. I think it's likely it could be a push with another one as well.
I think that the NXT Championship match at 2 plus 234 is the best bet. These guys are going to get as much time as they want. It's going to be dramatic. It's going to be Adam Cole, baby.
That is a good bet, because like I said above, Dave Meltzer doesn't rate Finn Balor matches highly, so that one probably shouldn't be the favorite. I actually do think the NXT Championship's got a good chance of being the highest rated match on the card.
Okay, so let's get to our official tips. Wrap this up. NXT Takeover Portland is this Sunday, and your official tips are what?
Yeah, so my tips for the show are over 2.5 stars in Dakota Kai versus Tegan Nox. Over 4.25 stars in Dave Meltzer's dream match of Keith Lee versus Dominic Dijakovic. The under star rating for Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair, which is 3.25, so under that. I've also bet in the main event, Ciampa to defeat Britt Baker's boyfriend. And I've also taken the Undisputed Boys to beat Riddle and Dunn. And that's my 5 bets for the show.
My bets for the show, I also took the over on the star rating of Dakota Kai versus Tegan Nox. I took Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly to retain the NXT Tag Team Championships. I took the under 3.25 stars on Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair. And I took Tommaso Ciampa to lose to Adam Cole.
Adam Cole, baby. All right, well, that's the betting tips, eh?
Yeah, so that's our tips for this month. We're going to be back for 2 episodes coming up. First, the Super Showdown from Saudi
I'm betting
Arabia.
Ricochet in that one. He's taking the title.
And then we're also going to be coming back for AEW Revolution.
I'll be taking over 5 stars if they won for that. Actually, probably 6 stars with all the quality they have, but that's okay.
For more on NXT Takeover Portland and a closer look at the odds, you can check out my blog, betonprowrestling.com.
And you can bet my website, betwwe.com. We need like an ending thing, eh, to kind of wrap it up. Regular AEW Dynamite with great matches, so it kind of brings these takeover shows down a little bit, you know, because now there's more stuff to compare it to, basically.
There's a couple props here I want to get into before we finish up. This one prop I thought was kind of hilarious. Will the show have 2 or more matches to be awarded the highest 2020 rating?
Yeah, that is a funny one. Yes is plus 175. No is minus 250. I couldn't even imagine betting that at plus 175.
I think it means to date, and the highest rated match that Dave has rated to date is 4.5 stars. So you're basically betting that there'd be 2 matches 4.75 or higher.
Well, that's a crazy one. That's 2 matches. I mean, there's 3 matches on the card that they expect to be really good. The tag match, Finn Balor and Adam Cole. All 3 individually look good, but collectively, 2 going over 4.5 stars. No, I can't see it. I don't think I could bet on it, though, because you never know. Like, Dave might get really into it and start just handing out star ratings like candy, but I couldn't bet either of those.
Right. If the odds would need to be much higher. Much, much higher.
Yeah.
As for the highest star rating on the show, over 4.75 is plus 200. Exactly 4.75 is plus 150. And under 4.75 is minus 150.
The over is not something we could bet there, I think. That would be crazy. But exactly or under, I think both are kind of bettable. I'm not sure I can do a bet on it myself, but it is tempting. Exactly 4.75 is plus 150 odds. That's not too bad at all. I won't bet it, but it might be worth, if someone wants to do some gambling, that's a good little gamble out there.
Finally, we have the highest rated match on the card. Finn Balor versus Johnny Gargano is the favorite at plus 150. The NXT Championship match with Cole and Ciampa is plus 234. The Tag Team Championship match is plus 250. Keith Lee and Dijakovic is
you
plus
can just call him
400.
Dominic. That's what I've been doing the whole show.
And then Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair is plus 800.
Well, for me, I said it before, NXT North American Championship, Keith Lee versus Dominic. Dave loves him, plus 400 odds. Why not? I mean, it definitely is going up against some tough competition, though, so I don't know if I would bet it, but that's the one I would see being the better. If you're looking for a good value play, plus 400 odds in that one's really good. But it could tie. That's the thing. It could be a push. I think it's likely it could be a push with another one as well.
I think that the NXT Championship match at 2 plus 234 is the best bet. These guys are going to get as much time as they want. It's going to be dramatic. It's going to be Adam Cole, baby.
That is a good bet, because like I said above, Dave Meltzer doesn't rate Finn Balor matches highly, so that one probably shouldn't be the favorite. I actually do think the NXT Championship's got a good chance of being the highest rated match on the card.
Okay, so let's get to our official tips. Wrap this up. NXT Takeover Portland is this Sunday, and your official tips are what?
Yeah, so my tips for the show are over 2.5 stars in Dakota Kai versus Tegan Nox. Over 4.25 stars in Dave Meltzer's dream match of Keith Lee versus Dominic Dijakovic. The under star rating for Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair, which is 3.25, so under that. I've also bet in the main event, Ciampa to defeat Britt Baker's boyfriend. And I've also taken the Undisputed Boys to beat Riddle and Dunn. And that's my 5 bets for the show.
My bets for the show, I also took the over on the star rating of Dakota Kai versus Tegan Nox. I took Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly to retain the NXT Tag Team Championships. I took the under 3.25 stars on Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair. And I took Tommaso Ciampa to lose to Adam Cole.
Adam Cole, baby. All right, well, that's the betting tips, hey?
Yeah, so that's our tips for this month. We're going to be back for 2 episodes coming up. First, the Super Showdown from Saudi
I'm betting
Arabia.
Ricochet in that one. He's taking the title.
And then we're also going to be coming back for AEW Revolution.
I'll be taking over 5 stars if they won for that. Actually, probably 6 stars with all the quality they have, but that's okay.
For more on NXT Takeover Portland and a closer look at the odds, you can check out my blog, betonprowrestling.com.
And you can bet my website, betwwe.com. We need like an ending thing, to kind of wrap it up.
And I took Tommaso Ciampa to lose to Adam Cole.
Adam Cole, baby. All right, well, that's the betting tips, hey?
Yeah, so that's our tips for this month. We're going to be back for 2 episodes coming up. First, the Super Showdown from Saudi
I'm betting
Arabia.
Ricochet in that one. He's taking the title.
And then we're also going to be coming back for AEW Revolution.
I'll be taking over 5 stars if they won for that. Actually, probably 6 stars with all the quality they have, but that's okay.
For more on NXT TakeOver Portland and a closer look at the odds, you can check out my blog, betonprowrestling.com.
And you can bet my website, betwwe.com. We need like an ending thing, to kind of wrap it up.
No one will survive.